The Dallas Stars now find themselves down 2-1 in their first round series against the Minnesota Wild after an embarrassing 5-1 loss in game 3 in St. Paul. Hey everybody, this is Dane Lewis with the Locked On Stars podcast. Just hopping on. I did say that I would be putting something out after game 3. Not going to be a full episode, but did want to put something out here to recap this game. And then, of course, on Sunday, I'll record something after game 4. And hopefully it's a little bit happier of a recording there because there's really not much to say that hasn't, that isn't obvious to the viewer who consumed this game from the Dallas side of things. Normally, if you look at the stat sheet and you see that Luke Glendening scored, you would imagine that maybe it was a good night for the Dallas Stars. But the problem is that he was the only goal scorer for the Dallas Stars. And it did come at a key moment after the Stars had found themselves down 2-0. And you start to think maybe they can get a little bit of momentum going now that they finally were able to break the ice, if you will, and get something on the board for offense because they really, really struggled to establish themselves in the offensive zone. The entirety of this game felt like the first two periods of game 1, where it just felt like the Wild were consistently hammering the Stars in their own zone, although the shots on goal were pretty even, 25-24 in favor of Minnesota. But Dallas really just not having any luck or any success getting themselves established in their offensive zone, and also not really many power play opportunities, only 2 opportunities on the man advantage, and the Stars not able to execute, which actually ended up playing a pretty big role in this game. But it still might not have mattered had the Stars converted on those 2, just because they couldn't do anything else 5-on-5, and the Minnesota Wild were outright winning just about every single battle, really outside of the faceoff dot, where the Stars were excellent, 63% wins to the Minnesota Wild, only winning 37% of the draws. But I mean, Minnesota was just flat out the better team on Friday night. There's not really much else you can say about the Stars' performance outside of that. Thought Jake Ottinger was fine. I think there's maybe some of those shots that he could have saved. Of course, one of the goals is an empty netter, but the defense also just not doing him a ton of favors. A really nice move. Was that Johansson who scored that second goal, just kind of finessing his way through the defense. A good play there. Maybe Ottinger should have stopped that one, but he also shouldn't have been in that situation where it's just one-on-one. His defense should have done something to break that sequence up. And then, of course, you get a breakaway goal from Matt Zuccarello at the end of the game. Just too many errant mistakes for the Stars defense, which is something we've seen far too much of here down the stretch, even in the regular season. But now it's rearing its head here in the postseason. And you can't allow guys like Matt Zuccarello to have all of that open ice. Stars fans know that good and well, having watched him here in Dallas not too many years ago in the postseason. And so the Stars need to find a way to garner some sort of response like we saw in game 2 in order to not be heading back to Dallas for game 5 down 3-1. And if there really is any solace after this game, which there's not much, but if you remember last year, the Dallas Stars found themselves up 2-1 after the first 3 games of their series against the Calgary Flames, and things were looking really good. And then things started to fall apart a little bit for the Stars, who eventually were able to force a game 7. But things really weren't much the same after the Stars took that 2-1 lead. Calgary really started to take command of that series, and they went on a little bit of a run. Again, the Stars, obviously, things weren't over for them after that, but I mean, that's really the only confidence that I have going forward, is that it is a best of 7 series, and the Wild are only halfway there. They still have to win 2 more games, and the Stars have to find it within themselves to at least make this a 6-game series and hopefully avoid that game 7. Because the longer this series goes and the more physical it gets, the less that I like the Stars' chances. Even though, you say, well, it's only, 2-1, there's still plenty of games left to be played. I just wasn't necessarily encouraged by what I saw from the Stars on the ice. It'd be one thing if they lost this game, it's a 4-3 game, or maybe another overtime matchup, and you say, well, they played hard, they played good. The goal is to, win at least one here on the road and have the series at a minimum tied going back to Dallas for game 5. But there's just not a lot to like from what we saw. I mean, the top line gets shut down in this game. The defense maybe looked the worst it had looked all series, not able to get anything going in the offensive zone. We finally saw some guys sticking up for themselves, sticking up for their teammates in this game, but I mean, that's not putting the puck in the back of the net. And I just really, really am starting to get concerned about this Stars team going forward in this series. And game 4 is going to be monumental and you have to find a way to get that win and make it a best of 3 series where you then have home ice advantage for games 5 and 7 if that game is necessary. But Minnesota has captured all of the momentum, and you know that that building is going to be rocking on Sunday evening. Lots on the line for both teams. Minnesota is a hungry team who hasn't been past the first round since I believe 2015, where they lost in the conference semifinals. But other than that, it's been a lot of first round exits or missed playoff appearances for Minnesota. And so this is a team that has been waiting for this success. And so you know that that building is going to be lively, and you know those players are going to come out with the same intensity that we saw them come out with in this game on Friday night. But we'll be right back here on Sunday, probably late in the evening or early in the morning, breaking down everything that happens in game 4, looking ahead to what the rest of the series will have in store. But let me know in the comments down below what you think the Stars need to do in order to get the win in game 4. Certainly a lot of things to work on and a lot of things to correct moving forward if the Stars want to find themselves back in this series. But I hope you guys do enjoy your weekend. Thank you for tuning in. I know this is a not really a traditional episode, but did want to get something out and discuss this game before I go about my weekend and try to enjoy it. And I hope you guys will do the same. Enjoy your Saturday and enjoy your Sunday leading up to the game. And then it's going to be time to go again. Should be an exciting one on Sunday night for sure. And hopefully we're talking about a little bit more of a cheerful result after that one. But again, enjoy your Saturday. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for the continued support. We'll see you right back here Sunday night or Monday morning.